What's going on, folks? Welcome to another Maryland Women's Basketball Recap. We got Carter Dudley Jr. here today, Wilson Tarpey Jr. The last time I think we talked to you guys was after another top 10 clash. Um, Maryland last time took on USC. This time, Maryland was eighth in this game, hosting the number one team in the nation. And we got a great chance to see the number one team up close. We shared some thoughts during the game, obviously, but UCLA is definitely under the number next to their name. So Lauren Betts have a huge afternoon here today. Her and Kiki Rice were amazing. UCLA, and in the second half, we saw the others get involved for them to really get going. Um, Maryland, obviously, a little bit different than the last time they faced the top 10 team. Where, they're a little bit more healthy. This one, they're a bit more banged up. Obviously, he was not available. That said, we saw them in the first half. They're within five within the first half. And then things got a little bit loose in the second half in favor of the Bruins. But, Carter, I want to get your thoughts on this one.
Too much Lauren Betts, too much Kiki Rice. That's all what it is. But really, Lauren Betts, she was dominant. People throw that word around loosely with certain performances. It applies tonight, well, this afternoon. It applies. They couldn't do nothing with her, and she killed them off of honestly rim runs. People understand that's a skill, just consistently rim running and peaking UCLA guards, finding her in stride, and her doing all the work in the post early before they even started looking for it, establishing position deep inside the paint. Where when they threw her the ball, it didn't matter if they came and doubled or not, she was too deep. And at 6'7", she's shooting over everybody. And when she got going, it was nothing, Maryland could do. She had 24 at halftime on 11 to 12. As a team, UCLA shot 16 to 29. There weren't that many rebounds to get. You know what I mean? But with that said, Maryland fought. They fought. You know what I mean? They fought. Tabiasu, had 8 points. Hit a couple threes. Poffenbarger was right there, 9 points. I felt as the game went on, she should have been more aggressive because she had it going for about 3.5 quarters, and then she cooled off. And she was, and a lot of times during the game when Maryland went cold as a team, she was the only one that was giving them offense, and she had to go. I just felt like they should have looked for her more to get shots. And kind of when they started to look for her, like they should have earlier, she had cooled off, and UCLA had keyed in on her, which made it difficult. Besides UCLA, I don't think people understand. They're bigger than a lot of WNBA teams. They have 7 players between 6'2" and 6'7". 7 players. The smallest player on their team was Kane. She's 5'4", I believe. The point guard. The rest of the team start at 5'10" and they go to 6'7". They're a very big, long team. It makes it hard. You got to make shots, and it makes it. And obviously, the pressure Lauren Betts puts on the team inside, you got to throw a double at her, which compromises the defense. Very few teams in college can match up with her. Like match up with UCLA, just woman for woman. You know what I mean? You got to throw 2 at her, otherwise she's going to kill you like she did tonight, man. And the thing is, after the game, it kind of hit me what the coach did. The game plan was sick. We're going to establish bets in the first half. Second half, obviously, they're going to key in on her. She had 24 at halftime. She finished with 33. She only scored 9 points in the entire second half. But what else did she do? I think in the first half, as I'm looking, she didn't have any assists. Second half, she finished with 4. Because when they threw it in, they came with blindside traps. They came with doubles. She kicked it back out, and this is when the entire UCLA team started going in that third quarter, as you spoke on, started bombing them from 3. In the third quarter, yes, again, coming out the head, they established bets. Obviously, Brenda, being the coach she is, the team that they have, all right, we're not going to just let her beat us. She drew a lot of attention. Next thing you know, Garner hit a couple threes. Kiki hit a 3, was facilitating, setting the table. Dugan hit a 3. Jacquez got points, man. Arnisolo, she got going. She hit a 3. All of a sudden, the jumpers start pouring in from everybody. So now, instead of one or two players you got in on, the entire team has it going, and that's when they lost the game. They got outscored in the third. Maryland did 26-14, and now with the 5 point deficit that they had coming out the half, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's tough. It's tough. Now, 17 point deficit, and you're not coming back from that. Being down, your two best players, Bree McDaniels and Cheyenne Sellers, on top of the monster that is UCLA. They're very good. The number one ranking is well deserved. They're fully capable of winning this entire thing. Maryland had their chances. I just thought they weren't physical enough, especially when it came to banging with bets. And also, I think they didn't do a good job with post defense. I know they put the Berry on her, and the Berry honestly looked shell shocked. She didn't look like she didn't look like she knew what to do. And the first thing against the dominant post player, you got to do the work early. You got to meet them. Like when they run to the floor, we got to start banging like pretty much by half court to establish position. So I'm throwing the big off course so they can't just have a beeline to set up. And then you got guards that are capable playmakers, ball handlers, and passers where they can just throw it into that in her sweet spot so she just go to work. You got to knock her off course and make her worry about you and then try to establish and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the shot clock's going down. You see what I'm saying? So now the guard going up, that don't look like that's clear for me to get the ball to. All right, let's move the ball and get into something else. But you're winning. You're winning the battle right then and there. Because now when they try to give her the ball, she's gonna have to press and take quicker shots. She's gonna miss some of those, you hope. But that's better than her being able to take her time and get into her move. You want to rush her. It's more likely chance that her efficiency, she misses the shot because her efficiency is going down. So it's just knowing how to play defense before they're even a threat to even get the ball, man, against the dominant post play. That's where all that work comes in. And I just felt like Maryland as a team, they just didn't do a good job of that. There was pockets where they were consistent, like, you saw Mary McLean coming in, being severely undersized, throw her body around, trying to make it work in there. I feel like Poffenberger at times, she tried to take the charge, but she should have just stayed in there and took the contact. Dall, she tried. She was trying to front her. She came from behind a couple of times, knocked the ball loose a couple of times. But being that severely undersized, you got to do the work before she can get there. Once she plants and pivots and she's calling for the ball, you're dead. You're either going to foul, she's going to score on both of you, or she's going to shrink the floor, she's going to kick it out, and they're going to bomb you from three. And it's a pretty much pick your poison. Then when they got the lead, UCLA got evil and put in a 2-3 zone. We not even gonna do bad. We're gonna 2-3 zone, figure this out. And all Maryland can do is pass it around the perimeter and try to hope for some tough shots, man. So they made sure Maryland wouldn't have any attempt at coming back, man. So, all in all, look, Maryland, I say for half of the game, they competed. Especially being down their top two players, you gotta give your hats off to the number one team in the country. You battle, but obviously it just wasn't enough, man. And they got to go back to the drawing board, man, because obviously Bree's gone for the year. Don't tell them when Cheyenne's going to come back, but you can't rely on that, man. Y'all had more than enough. If you were down at half against the number one team down 5, that means you were capable of winning this game. So they need to look in the mirror and figure out individually and figure out what they need to do to just bring something to the table moving forward where they can win games against the top tier teams. Because it's not going to get any easier, man. And no team is going to feel sorry for you. See what I'm saying? So, all in all, man, I was impressed with UCLA, man. All the hype and honors and accolades that they're getting so far this season is well deserved.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you're talking about, just again, you were a close game within 5. The things you can't do while missing, 2 of your best players, that turnover box, you have to win that by a far bigger margin. You don't have that, the room for error with those two. Even running your offense, you have to be a little bit more aggressive. You don't have as many folks on the floor now, where it gets late in the clock, where Shy or Bree, one of the things they could do is get a shot off. And one of the things that made me think about that was when you talk about late in the game, UCLA going zone. You didn't really have the true threat of anybody being able to get in there or create problems for you at that degree. If you think back to the UCLA game, you had some folks struggling. Shaw did a great job that game, just getting downhill, getting inside consistently. She was the one player from Maryland that got to the basket over and over again. That's not to say that obviously, this means automatically if she played they win, but just talking about an ingredient that they're sorely missing. Someone who get downhill against the defense with pressure. The defense, we saw the type of pressure Betts put on them, which was crazy. Maybe their third possession, I was like, man, she's just getting down there. Old school, we grew up, just getting that Shaq position over and over. The thing when he got in the league, it was like, you don't want him to get that position. Lauren Betts did a great job, like you say, doing her work early. She beat her defender down the floor almost every time this game at 6'7", 6'8", whatever she may be, which means if she's getting 2 feet in the restricted circle, not 1 but 2 feet, and then throwing that hand up, is effectively the same thing as Randy Moss throwing a hand up with a corner room. Like, it's over at that point. There's nothing left to do. Um, I know the different age of basketball we're in on both sides, whatever, but it was just good old fashioned inside out basketball in that first half. And again, credit to Maryland, you said, for sticking around. But I thought Kiki Rice did a really great job too of managing the game for UCLA and executing the game plan that Coach Close had. And shout out to Coach Close too for the job she did. But for Maryland, it is what it is going forward. You have who you have. If and when Shy gets back, that's great. You got to limit the turnovers and increase your margin for victory each and every night from here on out. Despite everything that's happened, you had 3 consecutive losses. The Texas loss was not a conference loss. You're 6-3 in the Big Ten. You still have some conference games you need to go out and handle your business in. Hopefully Shy gets back when she gets back. But I'm right with you. Heard stuff about UCLA. Hadn't taken the time to really watch the whole game. Happy, I was looking forward to getting to see them in person. You're a proud proponent of seeing folks live and in person to get a good glimpse of what stuff is. And it's very deserving of the number 1 team in the nation at this point. That said, I think what player the game is, but got to ask and bring it up.
Yeah, before we get into that, just 2 other key points that contributed to UCLA's win over Maryland. Points in the paint, UCLA 44, Maryland 26. Fast break points, UCLA 20, Maryland 7. I know Lauren Betts had probably half of that. You know what I mean? Just by running the floor off of misses and scoring. Maryland, as athletic as they are, they should never really lose a game by that wide of a margin in fast break points. And the thing is, they actually damn near tied UCLA for rebounds, being severely undersized. UCLA won a rebound battle 33-32. But still, you got beat down the floor and you got dominated in the paint because you just wasn't physical enough. You didn't do the work before. So they come back to just fundamental defense. And also, they had to score a lot of their points off of scrappy plays, 50-50 balls, one-on-one type stuff. It's hard to win in college like that. Maybe in the league you can get away with it because guys are so good. But I mean, women, the ladies, and the fellas are, but just pros in general. But assists, UCLA 22, Maryland 7. Maryland's 25 field goals when he had 7 assists for 25 field goals. Meanwhile, 22 assists for 30 baskets for UCLA. A lot of that, obviously, Kiki Rice, man, sophomore, working on the triple-double, 19, 7 to 6, 5 to 10 from the field. By the way, she's the X factor, obviously. For sophomore, she's a problem. I mean, so as we know, being one of the most top players to come out, coming out of high school a couple years ago. But Maryland got a lot of work to do, on the defense end, and it starts with just being physical. And sometimes basketball just come down to this: that they brought this to match, other aspects of the game and all that. They had a shot. They really did. You know what I mean? But you can't go against a dominant player where physicality is a big part of that, and you kind of will under the pressure, so to speak.
Yeah, like you said, that's part for the course going forward. That's the style in which you have to, for you to win going forward. That's the style in which you have to play. That you don't have some of the things you had a couple weeks ago. That's just reality. Like you said, you have to not only match, you have to exceed that going forward. Like you have to figure out a way to get things done. Again, you're 6-3 in conference play. It's not the end of the world, but you don't want that 6-1 start before the injuries to be in vain. Because again, down your two best players, you were within 5. If you were, we wouldn't be saying what we're saying. You wouldn't have been down 5. If, you know what I'm saying? Like you just wouldn't have been. What ended up happening would have happened in the first quarter. Like ideally, 2 people went to work in the first half. Like did a hell of a job. And one of the people is a dominant big, whether we're talking a dominant big on the female side or the male side. Like, a lot of people don't have bigs these days. And great point you mentioned in the games. That's not something you can practice against. You either see it and have experience and get reps against it, or you don't. You can simulate it, but you don't see it.
And also, you could tell a lot about how physical the team was and how hard they played by looking at the fouls. Only one player was in foul trouble. Dog shit. 4. She had 8 and 11. She don't, like I said, she was the only one that was trying to fight. You see what I'm saying? Like, Lauren Best had 33 on 14 and 15. No 3-point attempts. That was inside the paint. It should have been 2 or 3 Turks fouling out, banging with her, fighting with her, make sure she don't even. She almost 100%. You see what I'm saying? I'm sure this broke some type of record for UCLA basketball, Big Ten basketball. I'm sure it is. Like that's you going against the number 8. I understand the top 2 players were out, but still, you're going against the 8th ranked team in the country, and it looked like I'm playing again. It looked like a high school player that's going to be a McDonald's All American at times, playing against a bunch of girls that will be fortunate enough to play in college. That's how she made it look at times. And there's no disrespect. Just calling it like I said. It should have been it should have been 2 or 3 turns that fouled out from trying to disrupt her. So instead of 14 or 15 from the field, 7 or 15. You can live with that because she's good. She's an All-American type player. You can live with that. But if she's 7 or 15, now all of a sudden you're in the game late and you got a chance to pull it out. That's the difference. Like 5 or 6 from the free throw, like you want to hit like 15 to 16 from the line or something. But you're not about to just shoot 14 to 15. That's just ridiculous. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's no resistance at all.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. She wasn't bothered with it. Again, credit to her for doing the work early, but Maryland, again, you do what you need to do. Big Ten tournament, whatnot. You see them again. The things that were mentioned have to be changed. She can't be beating anybody down the floor to get to a position. That's non-negotiable playing UCLA, honestly. Regardless of who you are as an opponent, you're asking for it. Again, that old school Shaq position, man. You call it best position going forward, whatever it is today, what have you. But that woman gets down there first, gets comfortable, seals. It's the end. She's not missing down there. Again, a dominant performance by her. Maryland gets a chance to respond. I think they got a couple more games coming up soon. I know they'll be at home next week for Illinois. Road game before then. Second to this Wednesday, they'll be in Pennsylvania to take on Penn State. So you got a chance to take on Penn State on Wednesday, get back in the winter column in the Big Ten. They'll put you at 7-3. Again, you can't afford to let your conference record slide. So we'll see how things go. Cardell name, we are full agreement on player of the game, X Factor. We knew that at halftime when they accounted for all but 5 of their team's points at the half. Big showing by those 2. Maryland, not a lot of, not too much time to respond and what you want to get right. You have to go out, go on the road, Pennsylvania, come back with a dub. Then you host Illinois. You got a chance to be in a decent place. You're 6-3 in the Big Ten right now. You got a chance over this next week to be 8-3 in the Big Ten play, which isn't bad. And then maybe Shy's back after that. Who knows? Regardless, you don't want that quick start that you guys had to be in vain. So appreciate you guys. So we'll check in with you guys later this week.